Bethesda finally decided to add DLSS to Starfield after the game's performance issues on non-AMD hardware led to massive amounts of criticism, or what the studio's blog post calls great feedback. I'm James Shibe, this is GameLinked, and this is the cute little bullet point confirming Starfield's first update will finally get DLSS support, meaning Team Green gamers can finally bandage their bloody fingers after all those angry Reddit comments. It's okay now. God Howard heard your prayers. In that same blog post, Bethesda also stated that they are working closely with not just AMD, but Nvidia and Intel too, to improve stability and performance. This is great news since outlets like Digital Foundry have pointed out that Starfield was treating Team Green and Team Blue how parents treat their non-favorite children, which we all have, unless they're a cool parent, like belated birthday boy Greg. Happy birthday, Greg. Who is that?
Jacob's dad.
Overall though, Starfield has been doing numbers for Microsoft. In the UK, Xbox Series S and X console sales jumped 76% the week before Starfield's launch. So finally, thousands of non-royals get to experience building their very own castle in space. Unless they bought PS5s, like a bunch of donkeys.
What are you thinking, you numpties?
This morning's Nintendo Direct announced a bunch of new old games. That's right, it's remakes. There's a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong for the Game Boy Advance, a remake of Luigi's Mansion 2 for the 3DS, a remake of Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo, and remakes of the Another Code games from the DS and Wii. All remakes you wouldn't have to buy if Nintendo hadn't killed the Wii U and 3DS eShops earlier this year. Although fans do seem excited about the remake of legendary fan favorite Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door. The updated Switch version looks like it'll make all the present paper people particularly pop. Speaking of fan favorites, Nintendo brought the F-Zero franchise back to life by taking the original game and making it a battle royale.
People still like those, right?
It's 2017 again.
PUBG.
There was at least one original game, Princess Peach Showtime, where the princess puts on different costumes to fight a magic grape, as you do. But the true highlights of the Direct are Funky Kong coming to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as DLC, and the newly launched Switch port of Trombone Champ, which was my nickname in college. It'll let you and 3 of your closest friends, this is familiar, toot together to collect 3 real in-game items: toots, turds, and tromboner cards. What the hell is going on?
That's what I collected in college.
The backlash to Unity's recently announced install fees has led many indie devs to switch to other game engines or just announce they'll be pulling their games from sale. Meanwhile, Redditors discovered that Unity Technologies silently deleted a clause in their licensing agreement that would have exempted games released before the new fees take effect in January. Then, Unity deleted the GitHub repository that tracked such changes.
You saw nothing.
Now, the company did address some developer concerns on Twitter, but that didn't stop credible death threats, which prompted Unity to close 2 offices and cancel a town hall meeting. How could this happen to a company that turned everyone against it in one fell swoop? And I do mean everyone. According to Unity's FAQ, Unity expects companies like Microsoft and Apple to pay the install fees for games on their respective subscription services. Because everyone knows the best way to get respect is to find the biggest, toughest companies in the industry and punch them in the nards. This great idea is brought to you by current Unity CEO and ex-EA CEO John Ricciatiello, who also thought charging FPS players to reload their guns was an idea worth considering.
Just hear me out. Just think about it.
They'll be frugal. Having said that, he was smart enough to sell stock before announcing the new fees. Don't worry, insider trading is perfectly legal when you're one of the highest paid CEOs in gaming. That is how it works in America. Now it's time for the quick bits, brought to you by dbrand and their new ghost cases. Sick of clear cases turning yellow? According to dbrand, you'll die before the ghost case turns any color, especially yellow, at which point you'll join in its purgatorial prison between life and the afterlife. Only 1.2 millimeters thin, yet packing 10 feet of impact protection. The Ghost is available for Pro iPhone models, Ultra Samsung models, and Pro Pixel models. Damn it, I got the non-Pro! No longer will opaque cases prevent your poor friends from seeing the phone you spent your savings on. Get your say at shortlinus.com. I'll give you quick bits, but you gotta eat them slow, mouth open chewing. The continued longevity of Diablo IV has come into question after a major live event in South Korea had empty stands and barely any attendance. Even the official channel for the event barely hit a peak of 300 concurrent viewers. And this is in South Korea, where Blizzard is extremely popular and video game addiction is considered a public health crisis. The likely cause is that players that have finished the main quest simply aren't enthused by Diablo 4's game-as-a-service seasonal model. They want to log off, go outside, touch grass, play other games that see them as more than just a nice set of udders.
Ooh, we can get a lot out of this one.
Like Starfield.
What? No.
No? A literally Inhuman speedrun time was completed in Super Mario Bros. By runner Nifsky. The new record is so fast, it is actually faster than what was thought to be possible without doing a tool-assisted run, which requires using pixel-perfect automated input recordings inside an emulator. Nifsky's run was so superhuman that he matched a perfect tool-assisted speedrun for 7 out of 8 levels, leaving a time difference of only 0.35 seconds between him and a literal machine. For his next challenge, he'll be speedrunning healing from third-degree burns. I just assume his hands caught fire. The director of both Star Wars Jedi games, 2019's Fallen Order and this year's Survivor, is leaving EA subsidiary Respawn, despite saying just this year that he always envisioned the series as a trilogy. Yeah, the first one was great, and sure, the second one made Riley cry, real tears, but sure, leave!
Just go!
Stig hasn't said where he's going, but it looks like the same writing team is still at Respawn, so the third game should turn out all right, as long as EA doesn't decide the perfect way to cap the trilogy would be to add microtransactions.
He's gonna meet Ahsoka.
Or microaggressions. But you can probably expect lots of those in The Sims 5, which EA just confirmed will be free to download when it launches at some unspecified future date. The announcement comes a year after The Sims 4 went free to play. This time, they say Sims 5 players will be able to join, play, and explore it without a subscription, core game purchase, or energy mechanics. Which will be fine, I suppose, if you're the type of person who's content to let their Sims inhabit a dull, dreary world without even so much as a courtyard oasis.
I mean...
And a Destiny 2 cheater has received the ultimate permaban after a judge ordered him to never play any Bungie game ever again. The cheater, known as Luca Leone, was found to have repeatedly used cheat software, evaded multiple bans, and harassed Bungie employees, probably the last straw. The judge also ordered Leone, to pay Bungie $500,000 in damages, $2,000 for each one of 100 separate ban evasions, and $300,000 for copyright infringement due to his extreme alterations to the game's code, creating an unauthorized derivative work. Leone is likewise barred from knowingly traveling within 1,000 feet of any Bungie office or the home of any Bungie employee, seeing as he, threatened to burn them down. And you should be burning to come back on Tuesday to find out all the hottest, steamiest gaming news. Who's developing what? What studios are dating? And will BioWare ever make a good game again? I'll see you there.